welcome back to my channel. I'm TearaShanice. If you are new to my channel, thank you for tuning in. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for watching my channel and welcome back. So today's video is going to be how to bleach your knots on a wig, a closure, a frontal, any kind of lace. So I start by cleaning my surface area. I have some disinfectant wipes that I have, and I'm just going to towel it dry once everything is cleaned off and jump right into bleaching the knots. So the wig I will be working with today is from TearaShanice Hair. This is a closure wig, and what I am showing you at the moment is the knots on the wig. As you can see, it does have those black dots. Those are the knots. So knots are just the hair that is tied into the lace. If it is black, usually you want to go ahead and bleach it so it can look more realistic. So what I'm using today is the BW2 powder. I use 40 volume developer, the freeze spray from Got To Be, and a comb. I have a plastic bowl and a mixer. So I don't have any plastic ware, so I am going to just use a knife, a new knife, as well as gloves. Make sure you have your gloves because working with chemicals, it can burn your hands. So you do want to just remember safety first. So I have all of my items. The first thing I'm going to do is spray the outside surface with the freeze spray. You can use any type of hairspray, but the key idea is just to push all the hair back and make sure they are out of the way so you won't bleach that as well. You do want to just bleach the inside of the wig, not the outside. So that's going to prevent it from any of the hair getting in the way. So I have my mixing bowl and my mixer. This is the BW2 powder. Now it doesn't necessarily say how much to actually put in your bowl. So the best thing you can do is just eye it. So always look at how big your lace is. So since this is a closure, I'm just going to use about 2 scoops. I would recommend maybe about 2 to 3 scoops for a wig, depending on how big it is. But I do just eye it, and I use about 2 partial scoops. And remember that every lace is going to be different depending on size. So just because I use 2 scoops in this video don't necessarily mean you may need 2 scoops. Some lace is bigger than others. So I just use 2 partial scoops, and you definitely want to make sure you're not wasting products as well. So start off small and then work your way up. So I'm just going to close that back, and I'm going to take the same scoop and pour my 40 volume developer. You can use whatever developer you want. I tend to like 40 volume. It works best for me. So use whatever works best for you. So with the 40 volume developer, you do want to eye it as well. I use about 2 partial scoops in this video, and I actually went back and added another partial scoop of the powder because it was a little too much. So you definitely want to make sure you're eyeing it, or if you're really good, just pour it in. But for the purpose of this video, I do pour it in the scooper. So the consistency that you want it to be not thick, and you also want it to be not runny. So you want it in between, sort of like cake batter. I am just going to stir it up really good. I got this mixer, actually. It's a really small mixer. I got it from the Dollar Tree for $1. It's also plastic. So I love to use it. Typically, you'll use it for mixing cakes, but I like to use it for my hair products. And again, it's just $1 from your local Dollar Tree. So I did just pour in 1 of the scoops at a time and found out just 1 of the scoops, it was too thick. So I poured in another scoop. And this is where I find out that other scoop made it too watery. So I did go back and just put in about a half of the scoop of the powder. So as you can see, I'm just showing you how much it looks like from that second scoop. So far it's 2 scoops of the BW2 and 2 scoops of the 40 volume. And once I start mixing it, it gets a little runny. So make sure a little goes a long way. You don't want to add so much to it. So right now it's too loose. That's what you don't want. So let me go back and add in another half a scoop of the powder, and I will show y'all exactly the results. So you do want to make sure your area is clean again, because any of the product that fell on the counter or whatever area that you're using, you don't want it on your hair because it can possibly bleach it. So you want to make sure you clean up your area. So I do just scope my hair. Of course, this is a closure wig. You want to make sure the top of it is dry so none of the hair gets on the inside of your wig. So this is a metal knife. You do want to try to use plastic because metal and chemicals does not really completely go together. But I'm just having a little faith today. So this is my consistency as well. It is very good. It's in between. It's not too loose. It's not too thick. So when spreading your mix onto the hair, you want to make sure you're not pressing down. That is very important, because if you're pressing down, you're going to have it run right through the knots. You want to just make sure you cover the knots from the inside. You don't want to press too hard and get on the actual hair of the wig. And you can use whatever utensil is good for you. Today I'm using a knife. Typically I actually like to use a spoon. Like the back of a spoon works very well. If you have a spatula will be good as well. So as you can see, with one hand I'm holding the wig up and the other hand I am spreading. You want to make sure you're not putting any pressure on the wig because you don't want to go through it. So lightly just spread. You're not pushing, you're just spreading. And spread lightly as well. You don't want to push it into it, but you want to just have it pushed enough where it covers the knots. If it doesn't cover the knots, it's not going to bleach like you want it to bleach. And once you're finished spreading, you'll be able to turn it over and actually to see if all your knots are covered. Now I am just going to show you exactly what the knots are looking like. So as I turn it over, as you can see that all the knots are completely covered. I didn't get none on the hair, just the knots are covered. And if you're missing some spots, just go back and fill it in. You'll be fine, I'll be painless, yeah. All I'm drinking is champagne. All you want is the same. So I did let the wig sit for about 40 minutes, and as you can see, my knots did turn to a brown brassy color. Be careful on where you sit the wig. You don't want it laying under air condition. If it's laying under air condition, it can possibly mess up the process of it. If you have foil, if you can use foil for a faster process, but I like to basically let nature take its course. I don't actually use foil unless I'm doing highlights. But for this video, of course, I didn't use foil. I just let it sit for about 40 minutes and wait till it turned the color. So to wash my wig out, I like to use a neutralizing shampoo. This is from Isoplus, and also is a shampoo and conditioner, and it also has a chemical activator in it. So which that means that if you have any chemicals in it, it will turn pink. So you'll just have to keep washing it until it turns white. So I use just the neutralizing shampoo and a powder brush. So when washing your hair out, you have to make sure you get all the chemicals out. If you do not, it will have like a kind of like, it'll have some kind of feel to it. Once it dries, it'll feel like something product is still on it. It'll feel like powder, kind of like leftover powder on it. So it's not really a good feeling. So you want to make sure you really wash it out and you just comb through it just to make sure all that product is out. Now, because my knots are brassy, most people would use a shimmer light such as the purple shampoo to get that brassiness out. But sometimes when you use a purple shampoo, it can re-dye your hair to a darker color. I'm not really sure of the actual color formula, but the purple shampoo can sometimes, if you put it on directly, it can make your knots back dark. So another way you can get that brassiness out is take some warm to hot water, put it in a basin or fill your sink up and put a little bit of the purple shampoo in it. Make sure it's mixed completely and just let it sit for about a minute to 10 minutes. Just let the closure sit in there and that can tone down the hair. So don't put the purple shampoo on directly because it can go ahead and make your knots back dark. But these are my results. So since it is on me, I'm just going to leave it how it is because I am a tan complexion. So the brassiness really doesn't affect me too much. And once I actually install the wig, I absolutely have no problems with it at all. It came out very good. As you can see, it looks nothing but scalp. Eventually I'll probably go back and dye it, but for right now, that is just how to bleach your knot.